I'm Sarah from Team Omega Envoy here at Earthrise Space. Today we're doing a tribute video to Weller. They have provided us with this amazing soldering station. Soldering has been around for about 5,000 years. The earliest records we have are from the Mesopotamia period. Back then they used soldering mostly for jewelry, cookware, tools. Nowadays applications are mostly around plumbing and electronics, but they still use it for jewelry. There are three main types of soldering. There's soft soldering, silver soldering, and brazing. What we'll be using here at Omega Envoy is soft soldering. Soft soldering differs because it has a melting point below 400 degrees. And because it has such a low melting point, you don't want to use this kind of soldering for anything that's going to be load bearing, but since we're going to be using this mainly for our electronic components, that won't be a big issue, so it'll work just fine for us. This solder that we use is an alloy comprised of tin and lead. Nowadays, the market has kind of shifted away from lead because of safety hazards for children and people, and also in case you use it for outdoor applications, you don't want that to run off into the water and go into the groundwater and pollute the water. But for what we're doing here today, we are just going to use a tin lead alloy, and that's going to work just fine for us.
This is our actual soldering station. What you see here on the left is our soldering iron, and we choose to use a damp sponge, and we place that below it. Next to it is the vacuum. And this is the actual console that operates the soldering iron and the vacuum. These are the two channels that we have. One is for the solder, the other is for the vacuum. You can change the channels using, let me zoom in real quick so you can get a better view. These buttons, this is channel 1, this is channel 1 and 2, and then channel 2. This has, if you have the vacuum actually plugged in, right now it's plugged into vac. You can see little words right there. You can unplug it and plug it into air, but we have it on vacuum so that if we make a mistake and we put too much solder down, we can suck it back up. I will give you a demonstration of that. This is the display. It'll tell you what your temperature is set to, and it also, when you turn it on, I will in a moment, it'll show you the temperature the soldering iron is as it heats up. This increase up button, down button increases the temperature. Here is the most important power switch. Turns it on. So I'm going to turn it on right now. It has a preset to 690 degrees Fahrenheit. As you can see, I turned it on previously, so it started at a higher temperature, but it heats up very rapidly. And it's going to heat up to 690 degrees. You do not want to solder something above 800 degrees Fahrenheit because you will ruin your system or the component that you're soldering, more than likely. So we chose 690. Currently it is at 690.
Hello, I'm Donnie. I'm going to quickly go over some of the different things we've soldered here at Omega Envoy using our Weller station. First thing that we've soldered is an array of solar panels. We solder this together to figure out how much power we get from this array. Eventually we'll be taking these solar panels and fitting them to the back of plexiglass so we can move it from location to location without breaking any of the solder joints. Second thing we soldered at Omega Envoy is an IMU for our lander.
As part of Team Omega Envoy, Donnie and I would like to thank Weller for their support of Team Omega Envoy and the Google Lunar X Prize and for donating this soldering station.
Thank you. See you next week.
That works for me.
That works for me.
Okay.
Does that work for you, Marvin? Does it? Does it?